Om Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Murmuhu. We saw in the last class Master Sri Ramakrishna warning one of the disciples who is in very high spiritual state to be careful about the temptations of the world. You may slip, don't go to a place where danger is awaiting. That warning will be there always, and people who have gone through will be advising us. When we went to Kailas Manasarovar, we were asked now and then to be extremely careful where there is ice-bound area. The normal parikrama is there where it is completely, we can say completely safe, except small patches of ice on which you have to walk. You may slip and fall, but there is no danger of getting drowned or anything like that. But there is another path, inner parikrama. This outer parikrama takes about 2-3 days. 2 nights you may have to stay somewhere and come out. And the inner parikrama within 24 hours they complete. That is most dangerous path, because it will be looking like hard ice. Inside will be pit and cold, ice cold water will be there. We do not know how deep it is. The Divine Life Society, one Swamiji with 2 people and another Swamiji also, 2 Swamis and the guides, 2 guides were taking them through the inner, long back, through the inner parikrama, circumambulation. There we saw, we heard that they keep a spike, because ice, it looks like just ice, and then they almost walk on the ice itself. They hit with a spike in the hand to see that whether there is a hollow pit below or anything. They go on hitting wherever they say. If there is ordinary ground, there is no problem. Whenever there is ice, there is a chance it's a well-like deep and is covered only on the surface with the ice. The surface water has become ice. So we spike and walk over that. The Swami has struck it with the spike and it did not break. But when he left, kept the leg on that. With confidence they are walking. The moment he kept the leg on that, it opened up and the Swami went inside. And there was, we don't even see the body of that person. It has gone deep inside, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet. But ice cold water, we cannot keep even hand, nor can anybody get down. Nor within moments, the whole body gets freezed. And they had to just bow down there to that Swami, offer that body mentally to the Lord's feet and walk forth. Nothing can be done. Now, how the danger awaits and how the elders who pass through tell us, strike with spike, but when you keep the leg, see that the other leg is firm. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna is advising that Nitya Gopal, Sadhu Savdhan, be careful. Beware, holy man. These words of the Master echoed in the hearts of the devotees like distant rumbling thunder. With great difficulty, after many lives of struggle, pain and suffering, the jiva thinks of evolving to its divinehood, going back to the source from whence he came. But after taking that, if he falls down, how much it is so much, what a tragedy it is to think that a person who has given the world has fallen up from him and is moving towards the spiritual perfection, for to reach the eternal freedom from the nature and be eternally in the ocean of bliss. And that path, suppose somebody has to slip and fall back, how much painful it would be. And when will that soul again will be able to come to that state again? So Master was there. Master went with the devotees to the northeast veranda of his room. Among them was a householder from the village of Dakshineshwar who studied Vedanta philosophy at home. He had been discussing Om with Kedar before Master. He said, the eternal word, the Anahata Shabda, is ever present both within and without. I will read the paragraph again. The Master went with the devotees to the northeast veranda of his room. Among them was a householder from the village of Dakshineshwar who studied Vedanta philosophy at home. He had been discussing Om with Kedar before the Master. He said, this eternal word, the word that is Om, the Anahata Shabda, is ever present both within and without. Master, but the word is not enough. There must be something indicated by the word. Can your name alone make me happy? Complete happiness is not possible for me unless I see you. The devotee, the eternal word itself is Brahman. Master to Kedar, oh, don't you understand? He upholds the doctrine of the rishis of the olden times. They once said to Rama, Rama, we know you only as son of Dasharatha. Let the sages like Bharatvaja worship you as God incarnate. We want to realize Brahman, the indivisible, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute, Sachidananda. At these words, Rama smiled and went away. Kedar, those rishis could not recognize Rama as an incarnation of God. They must have been fools. Master, seriously, please don't say such a thing. People worship God according to their tastes and temperaments. The mother cooks the same fish differently for different children, that each one may have what suits his stomach. For some, she cooks the rich dish of pilau, but not all children can digest it. For those with weak stomachs, she prepares soup. Some again like fried fish or pickled fish. It depends on one's taste. Going back to the source, the word itself is Brahman. Thakur says, Om is there, it is indicating something. What it indicates is beyond mind, beyond senses, beyond intellect. The realm where there is no time and space cannot be conceived by mind. Within the realm of time and space, within relativity, within the universe, anything can be comprehended, can be imagined at least. But what is beyond, in which the universe appears and disappears, where there is no time, existence without time, existence without space, anything we have come to know in our whole life is within space. There is no space, object is there, we cannot conceive. There is no time, there was no past, present and future, there is no past, present and future, and a thing exists independent of past, present and future, we cannot conceive. Time and space are the two factors in which we recognize all things, and beyond it we cannot know what it is. So their words are used, Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, it exists. Don't say it doesn't exist because you don't see it or perceive it or conceive it. So there it exists. Sat Chit, it is conscious. It is not a dead matter like just existence of a material. It is conscious. Sat Chit, it is ocean of bliss. It is Ananda Swarupa, it is bliss. To deny the opposite, it may not be there, it may be some inert object, it may be a painful thing. No, it is not. There is no kind of pain at all. It is ocean of bliss and bliss alone. Sat Chit Ananda. It is existence. Don't think that it doesn't exist at all. Sat Chit, its conscious entity. So Sat Chit Ananda is, words are just indicating it. Om is indicating that reality which is beyond. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, see, he says, Om is eternal sound. Discussing. This eternal word, the Anata Shabda, is ever present both within and without. So here Sri Ramakrishna is indicating, see, there is a thing which these words are indicating. Try to grasp that. Know that. The person is telling, no, word itself is Brahman. Om itself is Brahman. Master, but the word is not enough. There must be something indicated by that word. Can your name alone make me happy? Complete happiness is not possible for me unless I see you. See, hearing about a person and meeting a person are different things. So, by just hearing the name, such and such person is in such and such place and he is keeping well. And if I don't see him, what is am I getting the reality to see, to meet, to be with him is the main thing. So, Sri Ramakrishna is explaining in that form. When he says, devotee says in reply to that, the eternal word itself is Brahman. Om itself is Brahman. Immediately, you see, there is no more argument. There is no convincing, trying to convince. Sri Ramakrishna is able to understand his bhavanas, his path, his way. He told there is a thing which is indicated by the word. Now Rama, when you say there is Rama, I cannot just hold on to Rama word and leave the Vastu. To reach that Vastu, I am using the Rama name. I am repeating to reach the Rama. So otherwise I have got already Rama word is with me. But Rama Vyakti is not with me. So to get that Vyakti, I go on repeating Rama, 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 Rama. I am calling on him continuously to attain him. He says, don't you? Then Sri Ramakrishna doesn't argue there or try to convince. Oh, he is going through another path to the divine. Now, any other person was there, he would have tried to convince, no, that cannot be. Word and the object cannot be the same. But Thakur doesn't. He wants to take him through his understanding to the higher truth. Oh, don't you understand? He upholds the doctrine of rishis of the olden times. They said to Rama, when Rama presented himself to the rishis, O Rama, we know you only as the son of Dasharatha. Let the other sages like Bharatwaja worship you as God incarnate. We want to realize Brahman, the indivisible existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. At these words, Rama smiled and went away. The God who has come down, the same thing is here, and we are not able to recognize. People are telling also, we are not able to recognize. When these sages looked at Rama and those people may say you are God, for us you are son of Dasharatha only. The same way, this Brahman, regarding Brahman, the word itself is, there is a vastu other than Brahman, is not, but there is a path to transcend that also. Holding on to that as Brahman, holding on to Om as Brahman, calling on that, holding on to that, slowly they evolve and reach the at that stage, that is all right. But it is not the ultimate truth. But immediately Sri Ramakrishna sees what stage of evolution that soul is. Oh, for him, this is the understanding. And from here, he has to start his journey. The sages like worship you as incarnate. We want to realize Brahman, the indivisible existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. Sachidananda. At these words, Rama smiled and went away. To Rama himself they are telling. People may call you worship. The Sachidananda, the existence, pure existence, consciousness, Ananda, Sagara, the vast, infinite, eternal being, and this finite bodily existence, how can they be equal? How can this Rama, who has a body and moving about here, how can he be the absolute, formless existence? This is with form, a small thing, that is formless, nirguna, nirakara, this is saguna, sakara, how can they be equal? So Rama smiles and goes away. Master serious. Kedar says, those rishis could not recognize Rama as incarnation of God. They must have been fools. Sri Ramakrishna himself is giving a lot of consideration and understanding the state and status of the person. In spite of that, Kedar is telling those rishis who told Rama he is not Brahman and they want to realize Brahman, they must have been fools. To that master says, seriously, please don't say such a thing. People worship God according to their tastes and temperaments. How much I can absorb, where am I? From there I can worship according to their tastes and temperaments. The mother cooks same fish differently. Now, various type of people at various levels of consciousness. Some are intensely body. Some have come out 5%, 10%, 15%, 100% from the bodily existence, identification with the body, how much you have dissociated yourself from bodily existence, how much you are attached to the bodily existence as myself. So the Sri Ramakrishna is telling, oh, you should not say they are fools. They are at different levels of awareness and consciousness. They will realize God in their own way. Yeah. Don't say they are fools. But now, can you say a school child, first standard child or second standard child, or a grown-up child going to school in 10th standard also, can you call the children who have not come to the stage of 10th or 12th as fools? No. They are on the path to learn, to realize. So Sri Ramakrishna wants to correct that, oh, they are not fools, but they are on the path to God. So, like mother cooking various types of food to suit the various people, here we see it is happening. The rishis followed the path of jnana. Therefore, they sought to realize Brahman, the indivisible existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. But those who follow the path of devotion seek an incarnation of God to enjoy the sweetness of bhakti. Those who are in the path of jnana, they are. Others who are in the path of bhakti wants love of God. The darkness of mind disappears when God is realized. Till God is realized, we will never know what exactly God is. Even of realization, we need not know. We have reached Him. We are free, totally free from nature, but it is not that we have understood or known God. An aspect of God, what God revealed Himself, that alone is my treasure. But it is sufficient to transcend the nature forever and be in its own existence. Darkness of the mind disappears when God is realized. In Purana it is said that it was as if 100 suns were shining when Rama entered the court. Why then were not the courtiers burnt up? How the logic is being brought, you see. The darkness of the mind disappeared when God is realized. In Purana it is said that it was as if 100 suns were shining when Rama entered the court. One sun shining, how much of heat and light is produced. We won't be able to bear the heat of the sun, one sun in summer. 1,000 suns shining together, what would happen to the man's existence? It would be burnt off it would be completely become ash in moments. Why then were courtiers burnt up? It was because the brilliance of Rama was not like the material object. As the lotus blooms when the sun rises, so the lotus of the heart of the people assembled in the court burst into blossom. So he is giving the beautiful expression how it evolves, how the unfoldment takes place. That like a blooming of a flower. When Rama entered, all hearts started blooming up in the presence of the Lord's existence. How the eyes of the love and eyes of jnana are different, you see. Almost all who saw Rama loved him intensely and deeply to be one with him. Krishna, every person who saw him wanted to be with him forever. That is blooming of the heart. When we meet certain people, we shrink down. With some people, we bloom forth. But with the divine, we bloom spiritual. Our spiritual existence blooms. Our bodily existence, all personality, individuality, and identity dissolves when spiritual blooming is there, intellectual blooming is there, heart blooming. Now, when we say heart, it is spiritual heart that blooms. Mind also, when we see nature, fine sceneries, when we see, our mind blooms to absorb it more and more and enjoy its presence. It is at the mind, psychological level, as if it is happening. And when I get I am trying to search for something or discover something, and I discover it, or I plan for creating something, some scientific instrument or something, I succeed in it, and look at the joy that my intellect becomes bloomed when I get the result. Oh, at last I've got the result, the blooming. Similarly, my spiritual existence blooms in spiritual world, spiritual awareness. When I think of God, when we get the vision of God, it blooms, that blossom. As the master uttered these words, standing before the devotees, he suddenly fell into ecstatic mood. Now he is demonstrating what is that spiritual blooming. His mind was withdrawn from the external objects. Immediately he becomes indifferent to that. He is not able to perceive anymore. No sooner did he say, the lotus of the heart burst into blossom, than he went into deep samadhi. He entered into deep samadhi. Samadhi is where direct vision of the God is received. He stood motionless, his countenance beaming and his lips parted in a smile. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.